Hello and welcome to the Wolfchase Toyota Insider, the Memphis Tiger Network. I'm Jeff Rival alongside Natalie Poole, our first editions of the shows since we've come back from the holiday break. And Coach, I know always a nervous time for a coach of any sport, especially if you've got a spring sport, how those players are going to return from the holidays. Hopefully they got the workout and didn't let the nutrition get too out of hand.
Yeah, it's always a stressful time, especially when we wrap prior to right about the time of Thanksgiving. It's a long time with that plus Christmas, and just relying on them to stay competitive. And I think that they did a great job. All the girls who were healthy enough to run our conditioning test passed it. And so the one thing that I'm not concerned about at this point is us being in the shape that we need to be in. Now we just need to make sure we're in game shape. And
that's good news for your strength and conditioning staff, too, because they're the ones, if they've fallen behind, have to get them back up to speed.
Absolutely. And Coach Levaut's done a great job with our athletes. He's new to our program this year and has done a great job motivating them, encouraging them, and pushing them. And he's got them on the right track.
Relative to Memphis, I know it's been chilly outside and kind of cold, but relative to our weather, it has been somewhat of a mild winter so far. I don't want to jinx anything, so it's going to give you an opportunity to be outside a little bit more.
It has. First day of practice, of course, it rained, and so we were indoors for that. But other than that, we've been able to be outside, and even though the temperatures are a little cooler than what we would like, we know we're going to compete in those temperatures, and so we push through and just talk about mindset related to that, and just making sure that we understand that our opponents are doing the same thing, and so we've got to be, tougher than that.
You come out of the fall, I know in the fall season, early in the ball games, you like to play everyone to get an idea, get them some at-bats, get them some innings, get them some time out on the field. But then once you get toward the back end, you like to kind of firm things up, have an idea of what the lineup's going to be. Now you come into spring with about 3 weeks away from opening day. You kind of firming things up. You have a pretty solid idea. You're still kind of tinkering with things.
We're definitely still just trying to move some people around and see some positions we feel pretty good about, and we sense who we're going to choose. But it's kind of a free-for-all, and we want to see people fighting all the way. And we also talk a lot about sometimes who we start in the first game isn't who we end with at the end of the season. So we want to keep people motivated, keep pushing people, and kind of stretching to see what our potential is in case we find ourselves up against a wall in one of the positions. We want to know who's going to be able to come in and step in and do their job.
It's always interesting, too, because this break that you had during the holidays, if someone didn't get that starting nod in that last weekend of your fall games when you kind of put in what you think will be your starting lineup, sometimes a starter can get a little complacent, think they've got it on the shelf for next spring. Then someone that didn't get the start in that weekend can kind of get fired up. You can see a couple positions flip-flop sometimes.
I definitely have seen that through my coaching career. Fun for those who are a little bit motivated and not discouraged. Sometimes disappointing for those that we anticipated to be present and there and doing a job that don't show up. But right now I'm seeing some really good effort, I'm seeing some good focus, and I'm seeing some good energy, and that's something we're measuring every day at practice. We might boot a ball, we might make an error, we may not go to the plate and execute a plan correctly. Those things are going to fall into place for many of them. But as far as the mindset and how we walk out there and the effort that we give and the focus that we give during the time that we're practicing is kind of the main thing. That's what we can control.
You made a big jump last year, and the win-loss record really had a nice season. This year picked 7th in the preseason poll. That speaks a lot about the strength of the conference. I know you lost some off of last year's team, but I know you have some high expectations.
Absolutely. This conference is extremely reputable. We finished 4th in the nation, so I expect every team to be able to compete. The last place team last year ended up giving, the top team, like a 14 or 15 inning game in the conference tournament. I just believe that anybody in this conference can win it. It's a war every day whenever we go out there to see who's going to thrive. And, it's a game of inches. It's a game of some really great moments, a little luck sometimes. And then those who are prepared the better way. But I'm definitely proud of the conference that I compete in. I'm excited to be a part of it, and I think that it's going to be a tough year again. Everybody returns good athletes. Some people bring in transfers. I think it's going to be tough, but I'm excited to be able to bring a different look. I think we're going to be a more balanced team as far as speed and power. We are a little bit younger, a little newer on the mound and that kind of thing, but we miss our seniors who have gone. They were very impactful for us over their career, and but we've got some newer kids that hopefully will step up and do a job.
Coach, about 3 weeks away from opening day, I guess the incentive is just grind through the chilly weather here in Memphis, and then you get to go down to FIU, then Florida Gulf Coast, then LSU. You at least know the first two weekends are going to be pretty warm, then you'll take your chances in Baton Rouge.
Absolutely. Florida International put together a good tournament. We'll play a couple different teams, and same for Florida Gulf Coast. I always bring in some good teams from around the nation, and LSU's probably our toughest from top to bottom, as far as the entire tournament. And then we'll come back and we'll host some in early March and that kind of thing. But looking forward to getting south.
All right, sounds good, Coach. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
That is Natalie Poole. I'm Jeff Brightwell for the Wolfchase Toyota Insider on the Memphis Tiger Network.